Welcome, and thanks again for joining me for this, the final part of my response to the video, Why Black Businesses Don't Survive. Now, and have you ever wondered why there is, or if you prefer, why there seems to be a paralyzing fear by some people and others and other races, and particularly some people from the Caucasian race, for those of us that the system erroneously or deliberately and contemptuously named, labeled, profiled, and listed as black? Have you ever wondered why those of us that are viewed, labeled, profiled, and listed black are oftentimes treated with such fear, scorn, and impunity by some of the system's security forces and other authority figures? From my perspective, it is because very deep in our human psyche, very deep within that which is called our subconscious mind, there is a natural or an instinctive fear for the dark, a fear for darkness and blackness, because in the dark we cannot see. And from our past bad experiences, and from bad experiences that are embedded in our DNA, our genes that we have inherited from our ancestors, we know that the dark, that darkness or blackness could be dangerous, could be evil. For example, some of us may admit to be afraid of snakes and other reptiles, etc. Not because that in our lifetime we had some personal bad experiences by being bitten by them, or some other nocturnal and creatures or troglobites, but it is because it may have happened to our earliest ancestors, and thus the experiences that they had with these creatures is recorded in the memory of their genes and the genes that we have inherited from them. And the same might be true for all those bad experiences our earliest ancestors have or have had in the dark or in blackness. So today, thousands of years or millions, if not millions of years later, whenever we see or hear of anything that is called black or dark, the resonance from the word stimulates our embedded fear of the dark, causing us to sometimes react irrationally and sometimes even violently. If you truly know and understand this fact, and if you are able to exercise wise judgment, then you will, or you may realize and also understand that sometimes when we, the natural native earthly humans, we the people that from my perspective the system has intentionally and contemptuously named, labeled, profiled, blacklisted, thereby calling us black, you may realize and understand that sometimes when we are being discriminated against, sometimes when we are being mistreated, abused, and even being brutalized, it is not because some are devils, but it's not because some of our abusers are by nature inhuman, evil, or wicked, or that by nature some of them are what is commonly called racists or bigots. No. But by truly understanding the aforementioned facts, you may realize that it is simply because of their instinctive fear of darkness and blackness. And some of these people, just like some of us, if not most of us, are deceived into thinking and believing that we are black. And as human nature, or as our human natural reaction towards that which we fear, is to eliminate it. That which we fear, we want to get rid of it. If you have a pet that you fear, you are going to get rid of it. If you see something that you fear or hear of something that you should fear, you will try to avoid it or get rid of it, period. In fact, if or when you truly understand this fact, you may realize that this is one of the reasons for the thing, or for that which the system called black on black violence. So, to answer your question, my sister, why black businesses don't survive, why black people don't support black businesses, from my perspective, the fact that you call, name, label, classify, and list your business as black, you have with your own mouth pronounced a curse on it. And no matter how long it may seem to last, it's just a matter of time. It is going to fail. There is an old saying in Jamaica that I learned as a child, and I quote, it said, black people open business, but Chinese people keep business. So, unquote, here is a part of the solution from my perspective. I suggest that instead of calling your business a black business or black businesses, just leave out the word black and call it business. Instead of trying to have another Black Wall Street, or instead of naming and calling the streets on which you do business Black Wall Street, why not just call it Business Street? For America's history tells us about what happened to the first Negro Wall Street, which today is commonly referred to as the first Black Wall Street. It was met with disaster. Google it, you will find it in Oklahoma. Instead of calling your children black, just call them children. Instead of calling your man or your woman black, just call them man or woman. Instead of calling your church a black church, just call it a church. Instead of preaching a black gospel, why not just simply preach the gospel? Instead of calling yourself Christians, or a black Christians, or a black Muslim, or a black Jew, black Israelites, black Hebrew, black Hindus, black whatever, why not just call yourself Christians, Muslims, Jews, Israelites, Hebrews, Hindus, etc. And then try to live a life that others like I, the mystic philosopher, may see that your religion are truly making a difference in your life. It has made you a good person, a better person, a person that will now be able to coexist peacefully with all others, and so that you can be judged by the life you live and not by your idle words. According to the Christian Bible, if it is correct, Jesus said, let your light, or the man commonly called Jesus said, let your light shine before men, and women I might add, in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Unquote. Now, the lesson I would like you to take away from this is that if your business or your religion are black, then you cannot shine, for there is no light in you. Again, you don't have to be a scholar like some of the doctors that I came across here on the internet to know this. But basic common sense coupled with logic should tell you that blackness or darkness don't and won't shine. In fact, from my perspective, even Satan the deceiver and the prince of darkness the prince of blackness himself, or itself, right, does not love darkness or blackness. For according to the Bible, if it is correct again, and I quote, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light." Unquote. And if light is equal to white, or light is represented by white, then I suggest that you be very careful of those that are calling themselves white. Those that are representing themselves as being white. Because you might be dealing with who? Satan, the devil, or his agents. And for your information, the same thing goes for those that are calling themselves black. Because they too might be the devil or his representatives. And why? Because basic logic coupled with common sense will deduce that if Satan is the prince of darkness, the prince of blackness, and if he transforms himself as angel of light, or as white or light, to deceive us, then it is also possible that originally he is black, or his true nature, his true and original nature is black. Remember that we are dealing with a very tricky fellow. Him and his ordained ministers, his agents and his representatives are the real cons. They are all out to con us, to convert us, to congratulate us, to confuse us, to confound us, to convince us, to congregate us, to conform us, and to convict us. To con. Evil Congress. So just be very careful of all those who are calling themselves black, or telling you that they are white or that they are black. Judge them by their works, their deeds, and not by their soothing, charming, eloquent, and charismatic words. For it's by their fruits that you shall know them. So in closing, let me reiterate, the word black is the system's, or is Satan's legitimized curse word. And it is by no means, was by no means an accident or an intellectual oversight why a whole group of our natural native earthly humans are being called black. And as long as people consciously or unconsciously continue to call themselves, their children and their businesses black, as long as they continue to accept the word black and embrace the word black as being the adjective that best describe and truly represent who and what they are, they will forever remain blackened, powerless, weak, ineffective, static, impotent, and engulfed in total darkness, in total blackness and ignorance, etc. So again, thanks for listening. Your comments and your feedback, along with your questions, are welcome. And please stay tuned to my channel, The Right Number, when I will again present another video in this series called The Redemption from the Curse of the Black Spell. I am the Mystic Philosopher.